If you master this skill, you will never waste your time anymore with a person, or you can never be fooled by anyone. These are 8 skills I wish I mastered before I was 30. And this is going to be a cheat code for everyone who's not yet 30 years old, because these are 8 very important skills that I've learned in my life that I wish for you to learn. I want to talk about the 8 important skills that you need to learn before you turn 30. It's very important that you get to learn these skills, because this is gonna set you off for life. Getting healthy, or just for your mental health as well, and everything else. I'm gonna start off with number 1, which is writing. It's the skill of all skills. And that's one of the reasons why I do write or publish some of the things that I write through the blogs that I have on my website. If you don't know my website, it's antonioaguirrejr.com. Check it out. Express yourself. Maybe write emails, letters, or by tweeting. Use 280 characters. If you don't want to use 280 characters, then do less. It's necessary everywhere. And that's the reason why I'm able to put out 7 to about 10 posts every day on my Facebook account. If you go to my Facebook fan page, Coach Antonio, you'll see me writing 5 to 10 pieces of content every day until 2 a.m. in the morning. Like, everything that I think of, I'll write it down on my thoughts, because these are just similar to people who are comedians. Comedians are very observant. And that's why it's funny, because it's real life. It's what they see in real life. Their mothers or their friends, how people are in public. They find reality, and that's where the humor starts. And that for them, it's a sign of being observant. Being observant will help you write a lot of things. Number 1, that's the important skill, writing. I don't care if you write, 4,000 characters long. If you start normalizing writing one-liners, time is gold, or health is wealth, that's a start. That's the habit that you need to learn, which is to write. Skill number 2, and this is something I learned by when I lived in the US for 2 years. I learned it in my 20s, which is cooking, especially for a guy who is not a great cook. Like, I can cook a lot of things. I just know how to cook them. I don't know how I learned them, but maybe through cooking books or just observing my mom, how she cooks. But if you can cook, you can survive anywhere. You don't need to buy fast food or junk food or open canned goods, because you know how to cook a mean adobo. And home cooked food is always going to be 100% better than eating junk food. Eating fast food, like eating, McDonald's or Jollibee, nothing would beat cooking home cooked food. Books, just pick any cooking book, or just go to YouTube or go to Google and search how to cook adobo, afritada, or, kare-kare. It's one of my favorite food to cook. Menudo. Those are Filipino foods that I've learned how to cook on my own. Like spaghetti is one of my favorite things. I've had my own variations of spaghetti. I've learned how to bake food, and how to steam, boil, broil, air fry, even steak. I've learned how to cook steak on my own, just because, I've done it myself. If you don't know how to cook an egg, my God, you have to learn how to cook an egg. Like, Gordon Ramsay would be proud of you if you learned how to cook a sunny side up egg without breaking the yolk. And you'd be surprised at the number of people who can't cook an egg, or just cook rice, for example. Just dip your finger, and if it reaches this part, get the rice cooker. Oh my God. It's just a matter of personal taste. That's it. It doesn't need to be something that you're going to be at the levels of, Michelin star chefs. Just start with one, and then you'll go on for the next. I'm not saying I'm a great cook, but I know how to cook. It's probably not going to be impressive to some, but my wife tells me I make a good baked chicken, and my spaghetti tastes nice. My carbonara is a work in progress. I make a mean spaghetti for now. Let's go to number 3, which is an important skill I learned, especially for business, which is learning the body language of people. People use words to hide, not to tell their emotions. But the body tells the truth. If you say, like, if you're watching this as a video and not through my audio podcast, my hand is on my chin, and I say, I'm okay. I'm not okay if I do this. I don't seem okay. Like, I'm okay. If I ask you if you're okay and you respond to me like that, I'm okay. For sure, there's something bothering on your mind. The body tells the truth. I've observed, like, I go to meetings and I'd leave a meeting after 5 minutes that's scheduled for 1 hour just because I know that person is not going to be my client just by their body language. I know already that they're not going to sign up with me for the long term just because of how their body movement is. I know that they're not interested. Because if a person's mind is already closed at the start of a meeting, you'll know that they'll just breeze through you because they have something on their mind already while they're talking to you. If you're there for a 3 o'clock meeting and they're there with their mind on their 4:30 meeting, then it's useless. It's just a waste of your time because their mind is somewhere else, not with you. That's why if you have their attention right away and during that meeting and they're not looking at their phone every 2 minutes or so, it means that they're really interested in what you're trying to say. And it's also a sign of respect. If you master this skill, you will never waste your time anymore with a person, or you can never be fooled by anyone. I've read books about what everybody is saying. So those are 5 words. What everybody is saying. The definitive book of body language. Those books help me learn a lot about body language, but just be observant of how a person throws their body towards you. The energy. You know, in rap songs, like I feed off your energy type of thing, it's a sign of body language. If a person is hyped up for you, you'll see it in their eyes. You'll see it in their body posture. You'll observe from there. And that's the start of you observing body language of people. So that's number 3, body language. Number 4, and this is a skill that I've learned working in the BPO industry for about 9 years. And this is about basic psychology. This will make you understand people and patterns. It's a lot easier to study the patterns of people more than what people are actually saying. Seeing the loopholes in your own thinking helps a lot as well. That's where you get better at making your decisions. It's based out of the habits of people. If a person is habitually late for work, it means that there's a reason for that. It could be that they're just not interested with their work, or they have something more important to do besides their work. You see the patterns of what people actually do every day, what habits they have every day, and it shows through the decisions that they make every day. I read that through a book, Thinking Fast and Slow, Daniel Kahneman. So Thinking Fast and Slow, that's where I got that. You will understand people and the patterns that they have if you understand basic human psychology. And also books by Robert Greene, the 48 Laws of Power, or the laws of human nature, those books, or The Art of Seduction, that as well. Laws of Human Nature, that's a very, very long ass book. You can just read the concise Laws of Human Nature if you just want to get the gist of it. So that's basic psychology. That's number 4. And by the way, if you're enjoying this episode right now, subscribe to the channel would be ravishing. All right, number 5. And I've been doing this for decades already. This is something I wish that everyone would learn, which is to have a home exercise regime. Have your own home exercise habit. Not going to the gym is not an excuse anymore because I've proven that you can work out just by being at home. Learn exercises that strengthen your back, your glutes, and your legs, not just your arms or shoulders, right? They carry the weight. That part that I told you, your back, your glutes, your legs, they carry the weight of your body, and they need to be strong so that you won't be tired every day. You do push-ups, you do pull-ups, you do squats, you do jumping jacks, you walk, and it will take care of the rest. Start with the habit of just doing 5 in a day. 5 push-ups, 5 jumping jacks, 5 squats, and then do that for 30 days. You'd be amazed at how fast you get bored by doing 5 of those every morning, and that you'll progress to doing 10 to 15 to 20, or get to me, which is doing 100 of those every morning upon waking up as a habit. You can read books. I think Tribe of Mentors would be a great book to read. Calisthenics for beginners. That's a book on top of my head. I've been a follower now for the past year of CrossFit. So I watch a lot of YouTube videos of CrossFit. Shout out to Coach Anton of Metcon of the Green Method for teaching me the legit ways of doing CrossFit and I've been practicing CrossFit since March of 2020, since the pandemic hit, and I've been addicted to it ever since. I've learned that with CrossFit, the ones that compete in CrossFit tournaments globally are like real life superheroes. Their bodies are meant to be the fittest in the world. And I truly believe that. If you watch CrossFit competitions all over the world, sponsored, I think, by Reebok, you'll see these are just the most fit humans in the world. It's not just like the world's strongest men or, those who join the Arnold Classic or Mr. Olympia of like the biggest bodybuilders, because these are people that can run miles, do 300 squats, do 200 pull-ups, and it's just crazy. It's all mental abilities, mental stability. Like I've seen like a 17-year-old guy just lifting weights, just half his weight for a very long time. It's just everything's mental. And that guy started with just having a home exercise regime. Just started working out at home. And you're never too late to start working out. That's what I can tell you. So that's number 5, home exercise regime. Number 6, and this is special because it's all about self-discipline. You want to be able to focus your time and energy on things that really matter to you. Quitting things such as watching porn, drinking alcohol, sugar, laziness, and making goals and building an important legacy just for yourself. Self-discipline is made through creating small habits. Here I am again talking about habits, and it's because of my passion of developing small habits to create long-term growth for yourself. Because again, there will be days wherein you're not going to be motivated and dedicated to what you're doing. And what will make you do things that you do every day are your habits. When you feel bad because you went to a bad breakup, you're not motivated and dedicated to work out. What will make you work out is your habit. If you play a certain music, I play Beast Mode on Spotify. When I play that music, automatically my head goes into workout mode. And regardless of if I feel bad or not, it's just the self-discipline that I've created that I need to work out to start my day. If not, then my day is not complete. That's just that. And it's not an excuse. Like, for example, I have a 8 a.m. meeting that I have to go to. If I can't work out, I will just wake up earlier to start my workout instead. Books that you should read for that are number 1, Atomic Habits by James Clear and Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It's a very, very nice read for me. If you can start reading those books to develop your habit of self-discipline. All right, let's go to number 7, which is leadership. One thing I want to tell you again and again is that readers are great leaders. They become great leaders. If you have the habit of being a reader, you can develop the habit of being a great leader eventually. People tend to follow who they respect. If you've noticed, you follow people you respect a lot. And if you check out the people that you follow on your YouTube channel, these are people that you respect a lot, or you find them inspirational or motivational, or you find joy in just watching them if they're an entertainer, because you respect them first and foremost. And respect is something that you have to earn first before anything else. You don't command respect from people because they fear you. They respect you because of what you do and what you personify. Learn how to speak less, and when you speak less, you listen more, and speak only when it's necessary or when it's really important to say. People have a habit of listening to respond. They don't have the habit of listening to understand. When I talk, for example, to a person, I listen to them so I can understand what they're saying instead of listening to them so I can respond. It's a bad habit. They listen because they want to respond already with what they want to say. It's like, they're always in a debate, but it shouldn't be. You don't need to control people. You just need to lead them. And by listening, it shows that you have full respect of what individual is trying to say. I've gone on into different meetings of company CEOs, and one thing that differentiates the great leaders is that they know how to hold very short meetings wherein they let their people talk and then they will just listen so that they have a pulse of what's going on in their company instead of them talking and talking. Number 1 book that I would recommend for this would be 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And number 2 is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is an important book I would recommend someone to read. So that's number 7, which is leadership. Number 8 And this is the last one that I wish I learned before I turned 30, which is meditation. This is something I learned just a couple of years ago. I want to say that a calm mind is one of the biggest assets that you could have because you don't base decisions now out of your emotions. And meditation helps you work under stress, remain focused, and to connect with what we call your super intelligence. Everyone has that. Everyone has a super intelligence in them. When you're calm, you don't make decisions because you're stressed or you feel negative or you feel too happy. I've had decisions before wherein I promote people in my business just because I feel great about what they did for that moment. Just for that moment. And then I end up regretting it after a while because it was just that at that moment wherein that person exemplified greatness and then for the rest it's just plain mediocrity. And I regret that because I was just so happy that, that person did a great job at what they were doing and then, they're back to being their old selves. Don't do that. Or, fire someone just based out of something that they did for that moment. And for example, lose a friend for them doing one thing wrong for just that moment. But based out of their habits, they're not usually like that. When they did something to you once, like they hurt you once, but in the nine other times, they didn't do that to you. Maybe it's because it's just, a glitch in them. It makes you think what's more important instead of just thinking, just space out of that small moment. When we were talking about, an experience right now that's happening, that's trending with one of my friends. I don't want to say the name. With what happened to him in his relationship, that kind of problem, it's none of my business, but it's a one-time thing that happened there. And it could be something that happened with his other relationships as well. But because you cannot base your emotions out of that with how they treat you personally. Because that person has been good to me personally. I'm not going to be biased, but at the same time, I know what that person deserves as well for what he did to that other person. I don't base decisions out of my emotions. People have been reaching out to me, hey, I heard about this guy that did this and that, and people make mistakes. And people can make mistakes over and over again that it can become a habit. But I'm not one to judge someone based out of what they've done to another person. Like, someone could treat a person really bad, but they could treat you otherwise. What I'll just say is that if you've never done anything wrong in your life, then you can cast judgment to that person any time of the day. Don't act as if you're too clean. People are gonna cast stones at you because you've done something wrong. I mean, just look at yourself first before you say something like that. If you think you're so pure, then go ahead. But then stop casting stones if you've done nothing wrong in your entire life. People have so much judgment. It's because they're ignorant. They can judge everything, someone, or whatever just because they base out everything based on what they see instead of what they feel and what they've gone through as well. Don't forget, you've been through those situations as well. So don't judge other people for something that you've gone through already. I'm just not that type of person that would judge anyone with based out of what they're doing before. Meditation has really helped me get through that phase a lot. And it's helped probably a lot in terms of maturity, in terms of how I see things, a situation that I see, and how I see things clearly from my own perspective. Meditation can do that for you. It's going to make you a lot more calm, and it's going to become one of your biggest assets as you grow up. So learn how to meditate at least 1 minute a day and so on and so forth until you can master it. The difference now is that, you have a spotlight on you when you do something wrong. It can also be magnified. Just like looking at a piece of paper, a bond paper, and I put the black dot on the piece of paper. You will see the black dot. You'll not see the white piece of bond paper. You're going to see the white dot. If I write down the letter I over there, you're going to see I. You're not going to see the bond paper. That's just it. I'm going to expound on that with just this. Like, the media is a great way of showing, oh yeah, today there's 22,000 cases of the virus here in our country. But instead, I don't look at that. I look at the recoveries. How many people have recovered? Sure, there's going to be deaths. But I don't want to create fear. I don't want to live in fear because I'm looking at, oh my God, there's 22,000 cases. I shouldn't go out of the house because I might get the virus going here to the office. I'm looking at the recoveries, and I'm not stupid to look at to go to work not being careful. I'm not saying be careless. I'm being careful as well. I wear masks. After this recording, I'm gonna wear a mask. It doesn't mean I'm careless, but at the same time, I don't look at anything that's shocking. That's why I don't watch the news. I let people close to me tell me what's the news because they filter out the things like, oh guys, watch out, there's 22,000 cases today. And then I asked them, how many recoveries today? Okay, how many died? And why did they die? 200 people died because of the virus case. I want to know why they died. What's the reason why they died? Not just, it might not just be the COVID. It's just maybe complications from there. And that's why I don't tell people to get vaccinated. I'm not saying don't get vaccinated, but don't get vaccinated not before you've gone to the doctor and check if you can get vaccinated, because there were a lot of cases already of people who got the vaccine and they've had complications in their heart, in their lungs. They will do that. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't take it. Go to your doctor first and ask them. I'm not an expert in these types of things, but I always ask doctors because they know more. I'm not gonna go to a website that was just created 2 days ago and get information from that. Check your sources first before you share anything. That's what I always say. And I have so many friends that are doctors, so I would ask them first and foremost. Always ask a doctor. They would know more than your friend who's an architect or someone that works somewhere and tell you that don't take the vaccine or what. Consider your sources. That's it. That's the 8 skills that you need to master before you turn 30. And even before you turn 40. I'm about to turn 40 in November. I'm just sharing to you skills that you should be learning. And I don't regret learning it in my 30s. I'm not racing with anyone. That's all I have for you today. If you found value in today's episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button and please leave a comment in the comment section down below. And I'll see you again on the next episode. Peace.